Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Thursday, October 24th, 2024. So, on a day that is excitingly numbered because it's 10/24/2024.
Yes.
Did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And did you find the crossword to be excitingly lettered?
The crossword almost did me in.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of abstract, I guess, the theme. It kind of went over my head there.
You know, I solved the puzzle and then was trying to figure out what the theme was.
Yeah, me too.
Because I could see there was something happening with two letters. We will not tell listeners what those letters are yet because we want to keep you in suspense. Don't we want to keep them in suspense? Okay, fine. The letters were N and E.
Yes.
And I knew there was something going on because of 26 Across. 26 Across being North Dakota's most populous city, Fargo, except it appeared in the grid as Far Gone.
Yes.
Which I thought was sort of mildly amusing.
Yep.
Fargo is Far Gone.
Well, I knew it at 47 Across. Frank Sinatra's reached The Best Is Yet to Come. And I thought, that sounds like something you'd put on a headstone.
Right.
But it was Heads to.
Yes.
Or Headstow.
Headstow.
So there was an NE missing there. And that was the whole point of the theme, because the revealer clue was 35 Across, who's interested, or phonetically, what four answers in this puzzle are vis-a-vis the answers next to them. And the answer to that was any takers. Any takers. So if you say that phonetically, it's N-E takers.
Yes.
And what was happening was in one clue in the line, it could be the first or second. On the first clue in the line, or I should say one clue, the N and the E were removed from the answer. And in the second clue, the N and the E were attached to the answer. And so you had to move the NE from one to the other to get the answers to make sense.
Because the ones on the right were NE takers.
Right, NE takers. So 17 and 19 Across were the first ones. 17 Across was selecting for a jury, and the answer was impaling, which makes no sense.
Depends on the jury.
And then 19 Across was a nickname alternative to Teddy, and the answer was the one. But from the one, Thone, if you take that NE off, you get Theo, which is an alternate nickname for Teddy, or to Teddy, for Theodore. And if you take that NE and put it over in the impaling, you get, what do you get?
Impaneling.
Impaneling, yes, impaneling, which is selecting for a jury.
Right.
So the next one was 24 and 26 Across. The aforementioned Fargo NE, or Far Gone, was 26 Across answer. 24 Across was Stinging Jellyfish, which answered was Seattle. That made no sense. But if you take the NE off of Fargo or Far Gone and put it in with Seattle, you get Sea Nettle.
Mm-hmm.
Sea Nettle. Okay. Then the next one was 47 and 50 Across. The aforementioned Headstone, which was Headstow or Headstew. And then 50 Across, Arrogantly Confident, turned out to be Cockney. But if you take the NE out, you get Cocky, and you add it to Headstow, and you get Headstone. And then finally 56 and 58 Across, 56 being proponents of crystal healing. The answer was wagers. And then 58 Across, on the same side, and that was all I need, which made no sense. But if you take the NE out, you get allied, which is on the same side. And if you put it at the beginning of wagers, you get New Agers, who are proponents of crystal healing.
Right.
So, when you look back on it like this, it's like, well, that was fairly simple. But it was very complicated to figure out what was going on, for me anyway.
And I would imagine constructing this, which Ella Dershowitz did, would have been way more complicated.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought it was a neat crossword once I understood it.
Yes, me too. I thought it was very, very clever. But boy, a real bear for me to solve.
Well, I think part of the problem is because you realize pretty soon that the answers don't match with the clues.
No.
So there are 8 places in the grid where your intuition is not going to help you.
That's right.
And
You're going to have to use the crosses.
Right.
And if you don't know the crosses, or maybe don't have any ideas right away, it's a little stressful.
At least the answers that you got: impaling, the one, Seattle, Fargon. What else did we have? Headstow. Okay, heads 2. You could read it as heads 2. Cockney, wagers, and all I need. Those were phrases that made sense in English.
Well, they did, and that again was would have been another great challenge to constructing this.
Yes,
because you had to take the any out of one thing that made sense and put it into another thing that already made sense, but you had to put, you had to think of words that had NE, that if you took it out, it would still be a word or a phrase.
Yep.
Like headstone could be heads too. But that too, I mean, that would be a great challenge too. So
I wonder if she also used, some sort of computational aids to do this, because I can see how you sort of make the query. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, if you just had to come up with this by hand, she must be greatest genius of all time.
Yeah.
I think that's an award. GGOT, greatest genius of
greatest of all time. The goat.
G-goat, greatest genius of all time. The G-goat. Yes,
okay.
The G-goat. So she must be a G-goat.
Perhaps.
Actually, if you say you're the greatest, that I suppose that doesn't preclude a tie. You can have multiple G-goats.
Uh-huh.
For example, you're probably in there.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Uh-huh. But it was a good puzzle and had a lot of interesting clues. Many I didn't really know, at least not right off the bat.
Right.
But eventually figured them out.
That probably also contributed to the difficulty.
Oh, yeah.
Like one down. I certainly didn't know. Antioxidant infused water brand.
I didn't either.
BAI. B-A-I.
B-A-I.
Yeah. Whenever they start mentioning like new age type drinks, I'm like, nope, I'm just going to. And even one across, workplace for a young Abraham Lincoln. The answer was bar. The only thing I could think of was cabin.
I never knew he worked in a bar.
Well, do you think it means bar as in place to get a drink, or bar as in he was a lawyer?
Well,
I mean, that isn't really a workplace.
That's not a workplace.
No.
But,
Did they have bars in those days?
Well, they had like taverns.
Okay.
But he worked in a store. He worked in like a general store. I don't know that he ever worked in a tavern.
Well, he must have, because it says right there,
I
bar.
know it says right there, but yeah, interesting.
And then the one next to it, marine animal with distinctive eye patches, orca.
That's right.
Who knew?
Mm-hmm. And then in the next section there, 8 down, fighting fish. What's the name of a fighting fish?
Well, so I was thinking barracuda.
Betta.
And then piranha.
But they don't fight each other. They
you don't know. You don't see them when they're underwater.
I don't know.
They whip out the old little fish gloves and have at it.
Uh-huh. But it was betta, B-E-T-T-A.
I think there is possibly a time when I knew that word, because I think that might be a tropical fish. And I was aware that there's several kinds of fish. If you get like a pair of them, you have to keep them separate.
Oh.
I think it was betta.
Could be. Okay.
Or at least that's my bet.
That's your bet.
My bet is it was betta.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else did we have here? 6 down was, must this conversation happen again? And the answer was, can we not?
Right.
I wasn't expecting the not at the end. I guess that sounds sort of up. It seems to me I've heard people say things like that.
Yes.
Can we not? But I, at the time I was just like, can we? And I wanted something positive, so can we? I was thinking actually mainly of can we stop? But, and since there was already that trickery going on with the NE, I was sensitive to other not failings, but other gimmicks in other places in the grid. So that was sort of, I'm like, it could be this, or maybe there's something going on. Maybe I have to put an NE in there somewhere.
Perhaps, yes.
21 across I thought was very funny. If it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. If it's blank, say goodnight. And the answer is, and it's bear advice. And the answer was white. If it's white, say goodnight. So I haven't run into any white or any other color of bear for that matter. 24 down, singer with the 2023 number one hit, Kill Bill, Saja, or however that's actually pronounced.
I have no idea. I did not know that one.
I've heard some of her music and it's quite good.
Oh.
Although I'm trying to figure out if Kill Bill is based on the movie.
I have no idea.
But the movie came out a long time ago.
I know.
It seems it's a little late to come out with a soundtrack. It's like, well, it's been out for 15 years. Better put out a soundtrack. I didn't understand 38 down, even though I pride myself on my physical fitness. Abdominal floor exercises, toe taps.
Yes.
How is tapping your toe going to be an abdominal floor exercise?
Maybe you have to tap it with your hand or something.
Okay, let's see. So you're on the ground, you're tapping your toe. Let's see, maybe you're on your abdomen? Oh, well, I don't know.
Maybe you're like laying down and then you have to sit up and tap your toe.
I've not seen anyone at Planet Fitness do this, so it can't be a real exercise by definition.
We might have to look that one up.
We had 45 across, dude, and the answer was brah.
Right.
Not quite sure how to pronounce that. And then we also had 45 down, I tell ya, and the answer was boy.
Yes.
I like that answer. I tell ya.
I tell ya.
And then I figured out where I want to go for my next holiday. 52 across. 52 across being city that's home to the World of Coca-Cola Museum, ABRA. ATL for Atlanta.
That's right.
So that's where I'm going. And I'm not going to visit all of Atlanta. I'm just going to the museum and then get back on the plane. So
just because you think they'll give free samples or something?
Oh, I figure they've got a statue of me, so I thought I would stand by it. And so I could be, my statue and I could both be waving with drinks held aloft.
Our number one fan.
That's right. I am, according to scientific studies, 70% Diet Coke.
Are you really?
Yep, maybe more. It just depends on the time of day.
36 down was a word I know, but I don't know if I've ever seen it in a puzzle. Really got to work with down. Knuckled. Well,
you haven't seen it in a New York Times crossword because it is a debut.
Is it?
Yep.
Very good. Yeah. Knuckled down.
Knuckle down. That's a phrase that I think has gone out of favor.
I think so too.
Time to knuckle down. I don't know.
Get to work.
Do you think maybe people don't knuckle down anymore?
Maybe they don't even know what that means.
Maybe they don't have knuckles. Maybe it's the great knuckle shortage. It's sort of a side effect of the pandemic. People have lost their knuckles. Sorry, that just sounds weird.
Yes, it does.
Let's see. 46 down where's 46 down? Personal stake in a metaphor. So I thought dog, as in like I've got a dog in this fight.
Oh.
But it was skin.
Yes.
I've got skin in the game.
That's right.
Wouldn't it be bad if you had like skin in the game and dog in the fight?
Boy.
Yeah.
You'd be in a pickle there.
Of course, the dog always has skin in the fight. 60 down I thought was funny. Block in Atlantic City. So I was trying to think of, the name of some Atlantic City street, but it was Die.
That's right. Yes.
Let's see. Atlantic City's in
New Jersey.
But also in Monopoly. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh,
But is it just...
It's Atlantic Avenue.
Atlantic Avenue. Oh, okay. All right.
It's not Atlantic City.
So there is Atlantic Avenue in Atlantic City?
No, they're all in New York, I think.
Oh, okay.
New York City.
I just didn't know. And I presume you got 41 down immediately. Cook until a crust forms, pan sear.
No, I didn't.
What?
No, I mean
Gasp.
That's talking about like meat, like you cook it until it gets a little bit of a crust on the outside. But no, that's not like baking a pie or something. It's
Right, but you're a multi-talented chef.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
I haven't cooked meat in a very, very, very long time.
What about the 5 Michelin stars that we have in our kitchen?
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's got to count for something. Okay, I think that was. Oh, just one other. They always get me in this. Two down. Costs of withdrawing ATM fees.
Oh, yes. That took me such a long time. And when I got it, then it was like, oh, how dumb. How dumb can I be? Of course.
Yeah, I thought it had something to do, I got the word fees.
Yes, I got the word fees too. And I was like, what kind of fees would these be for withdrawing? Oh, but, yep.
ATM fees.
ATM fees.
Which is another debut.
Oh, really?
Yep. We had 4. Impaneling. I find it interesting that impaneling was the debut.
Impaling.
So here's the thing. The great editor of xwordinfo.com, Jim Horn, he put them in the grid. So listeners, every day we actually have a link to xwordinfo that shows you the current puzzle. In the grid, he's got it written out as impaling. But in the answers that he writes out, he's got selecting for a jury, impaneling. He's like corrected it. And I wonder if he does that when he has a rebus.
Oh, probably.
Jim, if you happen to be listening, drop us a line, crosswordpodcast@icloud.com. Don't know if he's a listener. But anywho, I think that is it for today.
Okay.
So thanks everyone for listening.
Yes.
Remember, you can always get a hold of us, crosswordpodcast@icloud.com.
That's right.
Or you can click on the send fan mail link, which we also appreciate.
You bet.
And we will be back again with our in-depth, cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow, a.k.a. Friday's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.